Are you ready?
I am.
All right.
I am. You're getting a little robot-y, but so I would start it now before it comes back again.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another FwooshCast. Special edition, I guess we'll call it. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, but we're very fortunate because today's FwooshCast is featuring none other than Go Kyle Ranger, Mr. Kyle Wlodyga from Super7's designer, on a line that we're going to talk about today. Kyle, welcome back and thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
So man, yeah, I'm excited to be here, even though I'm a little bit embarrassed at the Go Kyle Ranger, but
You are Kyle Ranger.
I don't get all the colors are taken, so now we're gonna start going into names here. Yeah, man.
So how have you been?
Good, busy, working on Rangers, working on all kinds of other stuff. I mean, as you and the internet know, there's a lot of fun stuff coming out of Super7, a lot of fun stuff that I worked on, a lot of fun stuff I'm not working on, but it's all good. It's all in service of the greater toy culture, right?
If you guys have been as busy behind the scenes as you have been kind of, in presenting new offerings really since the first of the year, there's a lot of stuff going on. That's good though. That's good.
It is. It's good. And we're at least that busy. More than likely more so, because I was talking to a friend the other day about all the just toy stuff, and it's like the toys are kind of like it's kind of like icebergs, like this is the work that you guys see and you guys get to appreciate, and then there's all this under here that nobody ever sees and appreciates. That's like what's really making those other toys float and sing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you said, it's all to the benefit of the greater pop culture lexicon, because you guys have been busy with some new properties and whatnot, but you have also been, putting up for pre-order and releasing continuations of some popular ones that you've got going. And I think one of the very popular ones is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimates. And I know Robo is selfish. He's not going to give me that voice effect on that, but we get to talk about Series 3 today, right?
Yeah, that's right. I hope that he edits in the word, like the ultimate scream. Just if we say ultimates randomly in the future of this stream, just one time, just like a random, it'll pop up. That's my dream.
I'm either going to guess or I'm going to give him a bad idea that like he'll do like the reverse to me and give me like the helium voice effect or something for it. So
all effects are good effects.
that's what I get for having to rely on an editor for this type of thing, But Mighty Morphin Power Rangers
Ultimates
Series 3 has been revealed. Now it's been open for a couple of weeks now, the pre-order period, and we're going to talk about all the figures from the wave today. And I've got to say it's a good assortment, I think, with some things that I think is fair to say that maybe some people, I don't want to say expected, but anticipated being in this series, but then a couple of surprises too, which is always good, right?
Yeah. I think so. I think we were talking about Robo. I think Robo himself said that he called Blue and Black being in this wave, which I mean, we weren't really trying to hide the formula a little bit, but
I think we talked about that on a live stream a few weeks ago, and I think I said that actually. I think he's stealing my material, man. Oh,
I see. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I apologize. Somebody called something, but again, like I was saying, we weren't really hiding the formula for these a little bit, but we are still, zagging when people expect us to zig on some of these characters. So,
well, let's if you're into it, let's talk about each one of these characters kind of on their own, and then we can also maybe discuss the series as a whole here when we're done. But I thought maybe we could do a little bit of share here to see some of the glamour shots that you guys have posted up on the Super7 website right now, and then you've got a treat for us to be able to look at some prototypes today too, right?
I do. Yeah, I'm very excited to be able to say that, like, for the first time in this series, we have prototypes I can show you guys to get a sense of them in hands, the scale, some of the deco, that kind of stuff. And for me, I realize that there's a lot of people out there who collect stuff that are into the scale, and it's all renders are great, but like, what does it look like next to a human? Like, we'll find out how to do that.
Yeah. Well, then let's just get started here. And I'm glad that they're listed this way, because I was going to suggest that we start with the Ranger, who, in my opinion, is by far the best dressed Ranger out of all of them, because he picks the correct colors, and that is the Black Ranger, which, if I was a Ranger, this is the costume I would be in, and I'm sure you would probably agree with me, right?
Yeah, it's I like Black Ranger much more as an adult now. Who wears all black clothes. As a kid, I really liked white, but yeah, and I think I've answered this question before. As an adult, watching the show more and more, like, something about Black Ranger is just like, it's the confidence, it's, you know, the skill, like the hip hop keto. Adam is, like, I think probably one of the best fighters ever on a Power Ranger team too. Like, it's, yeah, Black Ranger's got it all in both versions, you know?
Yeah, well, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because, you know, I know that you are very well versed in the Power Rangers universe, and so are a lot of fans out there. For me, I'm someone, I think, who appreciates it, but I am not as deep into it as a lot of people are. So I think this gives a good opportunity to not only talk about the figure itself, but, you know, talk about the character that it represents. And like all of the, I think I'm correct, right? Like all the Ranger figures that we've seen so far, get two heads with this guy, right?
Yeah, some of them it's two heads of the same character. Like Green Ranger, it's two versions of Tommy. You get the good and the bad. But yeah, if there's ever two actors who portrayed the Black, you know, the specific Ranger color, it's our intent to give you both of those actors' portraits unmasked. Because, you know, they're ultimates, they got to come with everything.
Yeah. So we checked that down with both of these, but like, you know, when we were talking about it before, I think Black and Blue Ranger were anticipated, because, I mean, that completes the core group, right? So there are a lot of, not only does it complete a group, but there's a lot of, you know, footprints to follow based off of previous figures too. So lots of weaponry, lots of swappable hands and costume parts, right?
That's right. That might be the most eloquent way to say reuse without saying reuse I've ever seen. That's really, really well done. This is why he's a pro, folks.
Well, pro at something, BS maybe, but we'll take it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so if you're familiar with any of the other male Ranger bodies, this ought to look very familiar, especially, you know, Green Ranger and like the Dragon Shield, same premise. You'll be able to swap out the arms with the armbands and put the shield on and
down here,
all that. So you have that alternate look for when Tommy transfers the Dragon Shield over to Zach. I think it's one episode he gives him the shield.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask what your preferred, you know, look is on this, but this is like a one episode type of thing, right? So that's something that Ultimates. That's something that Ultimates is known for too on a lot of figures. It's like, it's not a deep cut, but it's a unique cut, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's and there, I think there was ultimately the intention, and I think even in the Sentai, like every one of the Rangers, or maybe even in the comics, every one of the Rangers gets a Dragon Shield at one point. So, but you know, with how they cut up the show and all that, like it just some of those episodes made it, some of those didn't. So it's cool for us to be able to highlight some of those like deep cut episodes, and I just like the black and gold just looks cool.
Yeah,
really deny that. I mean, look at his power axe or his shotgun or whatever, right? It's the black and yellow, like it just looks rad.
And he's got what the different versions of his blaster, but then also this is the callback to the old toy version, right?
Yeah, the flip head version.
Okay.
They all came with these like white blade blasters that were in gun mode, and they have the circle in there because those old figures had the peg in the hand, so they could hold the weapons correctly. So again, it's like we said, we weren't 100% hiding the formula. So if you are familiar with the male Rangers and stuff, like this ought to look pretty familiar. And exciting, just because there's some new variations on stuff, like obviously his power axes,
Right.
and some expected things like the blade blaster, but then like we also included the extinguisher that he uses to put out Saliguana, just because why not,
Yeah. Well, and like we were saying, I mean, sure, it makes sense for reuse, but the black makes it look better than everybody else. So hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
So
can't deny that.
So then let's take a look here. If you're okay, I'm going to try to be quiet, much to the joy of everyone probably watching, and let you kind of talk through the prototype of the figure itself that you have right now, so that the camera will focus on you and not jump over to me.
Okay. Well, with that, I will say that these are resin painted prototypes. They are not final. They're more of an approximation of what you're going to get. That I say that first because the paint on this guy kind of got a little bit scuffed in shipping. So his diamond is not as clean looking as I would like. But you do get a sense of about how big he is, the 6-7 inch scale, with the diamonds and all that stuff, and his helmet and the nice deco. But yeah, again, look, it just that looks awful. That will not be in the final one, I promise. So he's got this, and he's got his alternate heads. I can't swap them out because they're resin paint masters, but here's Zach, and here is Adam as well.
And was Zach or Adam first?
Zach was first.
Zach was first.
Yeah. And then he went off with Trini and Jason for the World Peace Summit or whatever, aka asked for more money and then got written off the show or something. So no one actually knows. Yeah, and then get the dragon shield here, which again I won't be able to swap out on him like that, but then he'll have the extra arms here. It's just one of them. I'm a mess here, folks. Apologies. But yeah, just the one arm here. You can swap that out. Sorry, I got them all in this big box here, so you'll have to bear with me. But here's his power axe next to him for scale.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And for those of you who are like, wow, that looks awesome, but I don't know how big that actually is, because this is still the internet. Here's a bit of a size comparison with a very famous reaction figure. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're gonna use Shogun Godzilla for scale for this whole video.
Hey, that's well, that gives the Rangers the opportunity to be bigger than Godzilla.
That's right.
For this one. Well, cool. I have to admit, he's the Ranger that I am most anticipating, and I'm glad to see him show up in Series 3. So that's cool, because not only is he my favorite in terms of the overall look of the character and whatnot, but he helps to fill out that Ranger team that we were talking about, along with the next one. I think that we will
what a transition, folks. Everybody, a master at work. Look at this.
No. Along with the brains of the operation, right? The Blue Ranger.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Donatello of the Power Rangers. He's the glue that holds everything together. He's one of only 2 Rangers from the original series who was not replaced by anybody else. It's always been Billy Cranston.
All right. So what is so we've got the glasses and then the contacts look? Is that what we got going on?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually I realize that it's like a kid show. But there's also kind of like a little bit of sort of implied storytelling, and maybe it's not implied. I'm sure there's writers out there who are like, it wasn't implied. I was very obvious when I wrote this for children. But like in the very beginning, like Billy is not a fighter. All the other guys on the team, like they practice martial arts, they practice breakdancing, like they're very physical in their you know, in their attitudes. But Billy's a brains, like you said. So he's smart, he's book smart, and then like he becomes a Power Ranger, and all of a sudden he like knows how to fight pretty good.
Yeah.
But then like you watch him like in the earlier seasons when like the randomly the putties will attack him while they're like hanging out on the playground or whatever. Like all the other kids are like kind of like fighting, and like Billy's just like kind of trying to get out of the way, and the putties are like bonking each other by accident, and that's how he wins fights.
Evasive maneuvers,
Yeah, yeah. But as the series progresses and there's new Rangers that swap out and they get other powers like the ninja coins and stuff like that in later seasons, like Billy starts to kind of own up to his like status as like one of the original Rangers, and he starts to kind of like become more confident, and eventually he starts like winning fights unmorphed and like just we call this the glow up Billy head, because he kind of like comes into his own as like one of the leaders of the Power Rangers. He may not be like the actual leader like Tommy or Jason or it is, but like I don't know, he's kind of like the intelligent and emotional kind of core of the Rangers sometimes. And so we wanted to sort of have some of that storytelling in the heads. And maybe I'm making this up, maybe I'm not, but there was intent on these.
You know what? It sounds good, because this is like this is the Billy Blue Brains head, but this is the Billy Blue Brains with Brawn head. So you got the B's going here, and that's an easy footprint to follow, even for someone who doesn't have the background there like me, because what you just said, that's committed to memory now, man. It was
and we wanted
to
accessible. Like, we wanted to like make it as like obvious as possible, like too in the story, like the glasses, the hair is different, and those are accurate to like the series and stuff. But like, Billy won with the glasses. We gave him like that like awkward nerd smile, like he's like scared to like talk to a girl, and then like Billy number 2, who's like leader, like that's the stare down head. That's like, I'm gonna, I know how to kill you in 3 moves. Look,
that's the I walk into the room and everybody notices, head.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I got you. I got you. So with that, is there something within, because he has a lot of, weaponry on here, which I suppose is meant to, make the full staffs and things like that. But is there a part of his weaponry and whatnot that kind of helped throughout that characterization, or is this just, the weapon he was assigned?
I mean, this is mostly the weapon he was assigned, but the little like pump looking thing on the right, that's a foam gun that he uses on this monster that I am now blanking on. I'm so embarrassed. But he uses it, and it's like that, because that's like part of his thing is that he's like always inventing new gadgets for the Rangers, and this one was like the first. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's like really one of the main ones that he like invents for himself. Because usually he's like, he makes like a mirror shield for like the Red Ranger to like deflect the rays of this other thing, and or he'll make like the rad bug, which the kids fly around in, or things like that. But this is the first one that's like, it's uniquely his own, and it's never been made before, and it's got the giant Triceratops stamp on there. And like I think I was saying earlier that like White Ranger was always my favorite as a kid, but I always thought the guy who had the coolest dinosaur was Blue Ranger, because Triceratops was always my favorite as a kid.
Yeah. Cool. Well, and that's kind of cool, because now that you say that, then maybe the weaponry is a little indicative of that, with the 3 prongs or whatever on there. So that's cool. So so these two obviously come together, right, to make the longer staff, and it does start as 2 pieces, right?
Yeah. So he's kind of, it's supposed to be one big power lance that he calls that, and then like sometimes he could break it apart and wield 2 of them in like a half staff, and then when so all the power weapons combine into the power blaster, which they then assemble and blow away monsters with, but when he does that, like they transform magically, aka through the magic of editing and the wrong sizing on the prop department. He like gets these like quarterstaff versions, and he like throws them into the power blaster to, you know, become part of the team or whatever.
Hey.
So it just gives you all of the options you could possibly for this guy.
And then is this callback to toy as well, just like the blaster?
That is a callback to toy, yes. Yeah. That is the toyetic power lance, and that actually does combine as well.
All right, well that's cool. Well, let's take a look at Billy Blue Boy here then, in the reel. So
yeah, so this is your Billy, your Blue Ranger here, in all of his glory. His paint did not get scuffed, so you get those nice clean diamonds. Turns out that those aren't actually, I know that they look like diamonds, and you know, obviously it's like, Kyle, that's a diamond, you can't tell me it's not. The design is that they're supposed to be teeth, so that's like the negative space, because they're dinosaurs, right? So when I saw that, I got my mind blown too. I had the exact same reaction you.
Well, I learned something today.
Yeah, so yeah, it's supposed to be teeth, which is, when you realize that, it's like kind of even cooler. So got that. Forgot about this part. He'll have, like, he and Black will have these functional holsters for the blade blasters on there, so that looks nice. In here, just a size comparison, you can tell that, you know, more or less the same here, right? And so there's that. Oh wait, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna show off those heads that I'm very proud of. So here's Billy, right? I realize I'm not doing the like Toy Migos proper camera focus thing, so they have to bear with me, unfortunately. And then the glow up head, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, we're gonna put him down, and here are your two halves of the toyetic power lance, and they just go together like this.
Just like the vintage did.
That's right, just like the vintage did. And here's your, I'll just do one half. Got your power lance and your foam gun here as well. So lots of cool stuff. And oh wait, hold on, we'll go back here just in case people missed it, with Shogun Godzilla for scale.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So this is a big step, and I don't want to necessarily go down a rabbit hole, because I'm positive you guys have you know, lots of things in mind and in the plans and whatnot. But as this essentially closes out that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers core team, we're going to be set in the not too distant future to kind of hit the next iteration or kind of piece with that. So it's cool to, you know, finish a team, because for me that's something that's very important. But then it's also fun to think about, you know, what might be coming next. So I think it's cool that in 3 waves you completed a team, and it wasn't dragged out any longer, because you guys, you've obviously got something else cooking.
I mean, we do. I've already mentioned at least one other Ranger color several times during the stream, so I won't say anything else about that. But anybody who follows us, like, and is familiar with our work in Ultimates, like, I'll use Turtles as an example. Like, once, I think people were very excited to complete that core team, but then like think about Wave 5. It's crazy variants, bonkers, like deep cut characters that nobody expected, like, and 6 and 7, like it only gets crazier after you complete that core team. And it's not like, oh, I'm shackled because I have to make the core Power Rangers. It's like, no, like I want to make those, and they're essential to any collection. But like once you kind of get those done, like, and you kind of hit your stride, and you know how to like really make the like a Power Rangers line sing, like kind of sky's the limit. You could do anything. Like there's all kinds of characters and awesome, like there's a monster every week you could be making, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing for someone like me who isn't as deep into the mythos, is like, of course I want to complete the core Ranger team, but past that, what's always going to get me is the crazy ass shit, you know, that that obviously are ripe for the pickings in this world. So that's very true, because you guys start to get a little bit, you get a little crazy in series 3, because until oh, you know, a few months ago, I guess is fair to say, I didn't even realize, I didn't know this character at all, didn't know that he existed and whatnot. But another guy that you guys have got coming is Finster. And
Yes.
and I kind of want to talk about him for a second, just because of the craziness of his design, what he is, what he represents, and what he does. And I have to say that until I saw this figure, or the render, I guess, I just assumed that he was a little dude, and he's not, right?
I mean, he's shorter than the Rangers.
Right.
Sure.
But he's not like Mayor of the Munchkin City type.
No,
Yeah.
he's child size, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, a tall, a short teenager. But one thing that I didn't realize until I started like really deep diving on this guy's design is that he's like kind of made out of trees.
And that's something that I was going to ask you about. He's got like bean sprouts.
Yeah. So just taking a deep dive and looking at it closer, and like the original concept art, and like it's not like he's kind of like a tree. And I think at least in my head canon, is that it's like a play on like Geppetto and Pinocchio, because he's a toy maker. He like sculpts stuff. So I feel like it's like the reverse. It's like the woodman makes toy. I don't know. It feels like a nod to that in some way. Like the way he looks, the glasses, like that had to be intentional.
Yeah. I'm with you. I noticed the green parts, you know, when you guys revealed these. That was the first time that I ever saw that. I didn't put that together, even though it makes perfect sense. But I like that kind of Pinocchio in reverse type of thing on with them.
Yeah, a little bit. And you know, I don't know who to ask about if that was real or not, but it's even if somebody said like, no, you idiot, that's not what it's supposed to be, he's like a wood elf or whatever, like I'm just gonna lean into that forever.
Hey, it worked. But he's Rita's like kind of henchman inventor, and he was on ice for a while, right? For a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was, as I understand it, he was like frozen with her and stuff. And so like he's the one who sculpts all of the monsters for her, puts them in the monster-matic, and then they come out as full monsters or whatever. And we included some of them there. You get the King Sphinx and the Pudgy Pig, two very, very famous monsters that people know. However, if you look at those sculpts, you know, I think if Finster posted his work on Instagram, that the toy community might tear him apart.
I was gonna say, Power Rangers is a product of its time, I think, for a lot of reasons, but this is definitely the case as well, because while the utmost skill and care was put into the creation of these accessories to recreate screen accuracy, I have a little bit of pull to them, because if I was sculpting Power Rangers toys, that's what like they're gonna look like.
That's funny. I was saying that, like, I didn't realize how much heavy lifting the Monster-matic does. Like, if you like, you know, if I was working with the Monster-matic, I'd make a lot of snake monsters, you know.
Yeah, well, you said Instagram. I mean, that's like super filtration system going on. So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so, at least he has the right tools for such things, with sculpting tools and whatnot, and a rolling pin.
Right. For those extra flat snakes you got to make.
Yeah, right. But this guy's he's just wild, and I don't know, one of those designs that I can say that I am drawn to right away, because it's cool but also ridiculous at the same time. And he's like evil Geppetto Santa Claus guy something. Yeah, right.
Yeah, kind of. And it's pretty rare to get an action figure of a guy who makes action figures. So
How meta.
and I'm the guy who makes an action figure of the guy who makes action figures, and it's like there's like a Inception meta level that's happening that I
Yeah,
really with
yeah,
Finster.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, so Rita is in what, wave 2, so she doesn't have to wait very long to get to Finster. But I don't know, me being introduced to a character like this as an adult, I have an appreciation for it, for what it is, just based on the design and things like that. But you know, for you, obviously you were brought to the knowledge of this character far before you were an adult, right? I mean, how was he conceptualized, or I guess taken, you know, to a, you know, a child audience? I mean, was he scary? Was he funny? You know?
Nah, he was kind of goofy.
Okay.
I always kind of viewed him as like comic relief a little bit, because it's like, oh no, Mistress Ruta, I'm so sorry. And he has like this really old guy voice too, which is like makes him like kind of like your old grandpa.
Pepperidge Farm remembers the Power Rangers.
It's like, yeah, it's a little bit lighter than that, but yeah, it's like I don't know. I always thought of him as kind of cool, and he just like kind of works in his workshop and like makes the toys and like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll make a better one this time. And
then they go create havoc. It's like he's
right
in this very bubbled environment.
Yeah, but I also kind of think that he's like just a little off his rocker too, because she's usually like, make me a monster that'll like kill the Power Rangers. And it's like, I made this chicken with a hat. What do you think?
Or a pig face with arms growing out of its cheeks.
Yeah, with like a Spartan helmet. Is this gonna work? Like, no, dude.
Yeah, I'm not really sure I want to know what's going on in that brain, but I'm appreciative of it, because like I said, those are the things that appeal to me. So
right, that's right. No, he's always fun, and like in the comics they made him like even more sinister, which was kind of like, to me, that always felt a little off.
Yeah,
but
well, I
always
mean,
think of him as good.
You know, like the modern Power Rangers movie approach would be like, oh gosh, he's got the creepy fingernails that are red underneath them and stuff like that. And
yeah, or he was like tortured as a kid.
Yeah. So he's got the pre-monstermatic pieces here, swappable hands, the sculpting tool. But tell me about this.
He wears the magnifying glass always, so he can inspect his work a little bit better. So that'll be nice, because it'll be like a clear, like you'll be able to see through the lens. It won't actually do anything, but it'll add to that, that premium feel. Because all the white you see underneath his apron, even like the little like black cuffs on his boots, or at the bottom of his pants there, that's all soft goods.
Okay,
so it'll feel really nice. The apron will be like a rubbery plastic that goes over it, so it won't hinder your articulation at all.
So the white will be soft goods.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about these? Are these all permanently affixed?
Yeah, all of those are permanently affixed, just because we tried to engineer them separately, and it just became so cumbersome at scale.
Yeah.
It just didn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. Well, and you know, I have such a love and not love relationship with accessories too, because it's like, I love having the options, but then it's like, dudes usually only have 2 hands, and then what the heck am I doing with all of this stuff? So okay, all right, well, let's take a look at the real pre thing, at least, right?
So this is Finster here. Again, he is a resin paint master, so I don't have a back to his apron, just because it wouldn't wrap around correctly in resin. But it does give you a better look at the soft goods. It's not going to have Velcro here; it'll be sewn up and nice and whatnot. But you can see how it just kind of integrates into the sculpted elements here a little bit.
Yeah,
he's got his his ears with the back with the green leaves and whatnot and all that fun stuff. So
Finster's foliage.
yeah, exactly. And we'll use Billy here for a size comparison, just for thing. So you see he's a little bit shorter.
But proportionally, he's like bigger in some regards too, right?
Yeah, it's kind of bigger. But you know, the magic of soft goods is you can hide some parts. But so he's actually very similar to the male rangers in certain aspects. But height wise, he's overall we shrunk him down a lot to make him a little bit better, better to scale. Or as I'm pulling it down. But, yeah, and then for him, I have. Can you get this here? Here's this. Here is Pudgy Pig and the King Sphinx little guys, and then because you were so interested in the magnifying glass, here is the magnifying glass as well. So
very good.
Yeah. He's a good one. He's an essential part of the evil court of the Moon Palace and
right.
the evil space agents. So
right, and that's filling out too, as far as that goes, because you know obviously we said Rita will be in series 2 and Finster, but he's not alone as far as that goes, right? Because I would say the next guy that we want to talk about is probably, I would say, the Power Rangers villain that I am most familiar with or versed in, I guess, after Rita, you know, and that is you know, her, I guess her main squeeze, the Lord Zedd, right?
That's right.
So this guy's wild in his design, and I'm glad I can talk to you about it for some background on this, because obviously you can see his brain through the top of his helmet crown thing. And then, so did he originally have skin, or is he like always been just I've displayed and here are my muscles?
So it kind of depends on what continuity you want to subscribe to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're just gonna go classic show Ranger stuff, then he's always looked this evil. He's always been a jerk. He's always been super evil and mean.
Yeah.
They recently, and by they I mean Boom Studios, the comic book company, who's been killing it with Ranger comics for the last 5 years or so. Mm-hmm. They just released an arc where you kind of see the origin of Lord Zedd, and he actually was like, he was an Eltarian, and Eltar is the planet that Zordon is from.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that Zedd was like Zordon's mentor, and you know, through a freak kind of encounter with an assassin who like poisoned him, I think he he basically poisoned him, and like he started like melting, and Zordon had to like save his mentor like as much as he could, but like he was already it's kind of like a Darth Vader type like origin story, and that like Zedd was like already kind of like too brash for the council and like that kind of stuff, and so like the, you know, getting doused with like the Joker acid, I guess we could call it, sort of put him off the deep end, and he started getting rebuilt, and that's what the tubes are for, and it rebuild his bones, and that's what this part is for, and that kind of stuff, and that's ongoing. So I'm not 100% caught up, but that's like, well, that's how it was explained to me.
I hope they did him the favor of not like reactivating his nerves, because this has got to be a painful existence.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, well, he's definitely an imposing bloke, that's for sure. And you've got both heads included here. Now, is this a little light piping action going on here?
It's a little bit brighter. It is not light piping, but it is like it'll be a brighter metallic red, and the other one's supposed to be a little bit darker.
Okay.
Because Rita has the repulsoscope to look at what the Rangers are doing. Zedd is so cool. He has it's Z vision, where he just like his eye lights up and he like looks at the earth and he can like telescope. See, he's got like Superman vision.
Yeah.
With his visor. So
well,
and
that
lights indicate that.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the brighter color for sure. He's got his staff, which is not going to be mistaken for anyone else's staff.
No,
it's got a big Z on top of it.
Yeah. It's unequivocally Zedd's, unless it's on its side, then it could be Ninjor's.
Yeah, right. Well, and then these are obviously not thermal detonators, but they recall that a little bit.
They look a little bit close to thermal detonators, but Rita Repulsa throws her staff into the ground and says, "Magic wand, make my monster grow." Zedd has these are the growth bombs, so he throws these from the Moon Palace onto Earth, and it's this big explosion, and then the monster grows. It's his grow bombs here.
Yeah, and then he's got a snake.
He does, which is a pretty deep cut. Zedd's staff is made out of a snake. He gets one and then turns it into the staff in his intro. And then one time he kidnaps Kimberly to try and make her his queen or whatever, and Tommy has to rescue her, and so White Ranger and Zedd fight, and Tommy does something. I think Zedd shoots lightning at him. Tommy bounces it back, and the lightning that came out of the staff goes back into the staff, and it becomes the snake it once was again. So
that's like the putty guys running into each other. It's always the most satisfying when the bad guys do themselves in, right?
That's right. So it's just a cool snake accessory, and it'll be a little bit softer of a rubber, so you can kind of pose it a little bit.
Yeah. So
hang around. He can open in Vegas with it.
We'll get him a feather boa.
Right. That's right.
Too, right. So okay. So he wanted Kimberly to be his queen. Now, was this before or after the? Because he got married, right?
He did. Yeah, he got married. But fun fact about that is that it was not his idea. Rita so when Zedd comes back, he kicks Rita to the curb and takes over the Moon Palace. And to get her position back, she schemes with Finster to make the love potion that we included in Wave 2 coming soon, and feeds it to him, and then he falls in love with her, and then they have a whole wedding ceremony, and I think Finster actually officiates it, which is really fun.
As he would, yeah. That's a loaded scenario.
All the monsters bring wedding gifts for them, which is adorable. Eye guy, who I think people know, brings a spider in a cage, and it's why, dude? It's so ridiculous.
Hey, you know what? If I'm getting married up in the Moon Palace, monsters are coming, and they damn well better bring gifts. So
that's right.
I got it. Yeah. All right. Well, he's the bad guys are never lacking for unique and cool aesthetics on this. So let's take a look at Zedd.
Yeah. So one thing to note, because this is a resin paint master, I'm not sure I've said those magic words enough here. I do not have the tubes in this guy because it just wouldn't work without snapping and
so fragile.
Yeah, exactly. So and his legs aren't exactly glued in, so you'll have to bear with me, but here he is in all his glory. Get a nice look at the back here. See, there goes that leg. That looking cool.
Yeah,
looking big and imposing.
In his metal underwear.
Oh yeah, all that wonderful wash and details. You can see all the muscle, sinew, and grossness going on, right? You'll have to bear with me here. I'm going to try something unprecedented. Size comparison of a Ranger and a Lord Zedd, so you can see he's a little bit bigger than them.
Wow. Yeah.
And I realized that there's quite a few people who are like, oh, he wasn't that big and stuff, but it's ultimately like I can't. It's a little bit about like making him how you remember him. And I like at one point Zedd was so scary that parents wrote into Fox Kids saying, "Hey, tone that down. This guy's like terrifying." So just adding a little bit of height makes a big difference in the intimidation factor.
Parents are the worst, man.
They are. They are. They are the worst.
The real monsters.
Parents just don't understand, folks. Parents just don't understand. Hold on here. So continuing the trend of Super 7 accessories that are just too big. Look at this.
Wow.
This staff for him. It is my favorite word, ginormous. I mean, it's as tall as he is. It's crazy. I mean, you can throw this to somebody, do some serious damage if you wanted to.
Dr. Freud would probably have some thoughts on that.
Yeah. The got the growth bombs here. With the hand that can hold them like that. Looking good. That was a very fun teaser for us to do with the backside. And then we got his snake here for his headlining show in Vegas. So yeah.
So the snake is kind of formed to it. I mean, did he like have it over his shoulder or something like that then?
Yeah, he's kind of like when it happens, he's kind of like, oh geez, and he like holds it like this a little bit.
I'm a scary super villain, but a snake. God, get it out of here.
Well, yeah, it like happens. He's like, oh, you bested me this time. Because like, oh, Zedd doesn't have his staff. It's not like he's super buff and has claws and metal armor that could help him in a fight. But nope, get rid of my staff. It's over.
Hey, it's an easy arc to follow.
Yeah.
But you as I have to say that it's kind of funny because since he is a resin prototype and the leg was struggling a little bit, it's just appropriate that you guys were also going to include in this wave someplace for the poor evil despot to take a load off. And
That's right. That's right.
This is what, second in now I guess we could say series of fashionable furniture pieces within the overall Ultimates milieu.
Almost. You're gonna be very embarrassed when I tell you that it's the third of evil villain chairs that we've done.
Bone Throne, I got it.
That's right.
I got that. That's the original one. Okay. So yes, the third one, because Zedd cannot hop onto the scene being jealous of Skeletor and Monstar. So right. Much like Silverhawk Series 2, there is a throne included in this one as well for Zedd, right?
That is true. Yeah, Zedd can't be emperor of all he sees without a throne to tell everybody what a big mean jerk he is. So we decided to include the throne. It's iconic. It's part of his intro. You see it every episode he's in. It's an essential accessory, at least in my opinion. But we wanted to offer it as a separate SKU for people who might not feel that way. Well, it's there if you want it.
Well, it says a lot about a character when when a person can look even more badass sitting down than they do standing up. So I think there's a lot of that going on here.
It is. It's he can intimidate you without even getting up from his lazy boy.
and I like this shot because it's kind of the reverse of what you guys did to tease it a little bit, right? With them holding.
Yeah, I think the way that they did it, it's like almost the just reverse angle from the tease.
Yeah,
they just
move it over the back. Around. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Because as you said, it's important, but also, you think of shelves and displays and whatnot. This is a good centerpiece to really start to build your bad guys around even, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It helps set the scene for your own kind of Moon Palace display and all those characters.
Yeah. Well, this is a separate piece. So you can, if you want the throne, get the throne. If you don't, okay. That's fine too. But it looks like to me it's a solid piece, right?
It is a very solid piece. There's gonna be some hollow parts. There's gonna be some assembly parts just with the way that it's like constructed. Like you can't pull that out of one solid mold. But it's gonna have some weight to it.
You got to be driving your poor friends in packaging absolutely batty with these types of things, right?
This one's not terrible. This one is like, at least it's pretty simple. You just tell them how big.
Spoken like a guy who has obviously challenged them before on other things, saying that this one's not
a little bit. It's they don't have to Tetris anything on here. Right? It works. It's chair boxed.
Yeah.
Right.
This is one of those things that I will say that it's a nice accessory environment piece, and I have much respect to the Mint on Card sect who will be having this proudly displayed still in the box for all time.
Do you put your Lord Zedd in box on top of this?
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, this isn't how you intended. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. It's going to be a fun comparison when I've got the Bone Throne and when the Monstar Throne, and then when this comes out, it's just going to be
right,
perfectly right across.
Trinity of evil.
Well, that's awesome. All right. Well, since we're already kind of here,
you want to see it? I have the throne.
Oh, do you? Oh, I wasn't sure if you actually had the throne. Okay.
I have it. There we go. This is it. Look at this thing. It's almost as big as my head here.
And guys be calling it thick too.
Well, you think this is, you turn it to the side.
Yeah.
It gets even thicker. But then you get the back, just in case you don't know whose chair this is Big Daddy Zedd's. That's right. So and I'm gonna attempt to have him stand in front of it. Again, he's a resin paint master. I can't make him sit in it. But you can kind of get a sense of, I'm holding this horribly, but
dang,
kind of get a sense of how he interacts with it. Right?
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's really cool. I'm pretty excited to like you said, have this be like the centerpiece.
Yeah.
Oh, I realized the last couple guys I haven't done this comparison, but we show them.
Hey,
comparison.
There's something that feels right about Reaction Godzilla taking over the throne.
That's right. King of the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
More ways than one.
Well, cool. That's like I said, that's a fun piece to include for those who want it. And I think it will be, as we said, the good centerpiece of at least of the villain sect.
Yeah.
So all right, well, that then takes us to the final figure in this assortment, and again, one of those footprints that we have been following in terms of the makeup of the assortments for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimates series, and that is for the Zord, and this time it is the Dino Megazord included in this one.
That is right. Perhaps one of the most iconic giant robots of all time here.
This is the one I know, or that I knew, right?
Exactly. Yeah, most people know this guy. And most people know this guy and confuse him for Voltron. So
no, I know Voltron. But I see the cues there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they graduated from the same robot school. For sure.
Oh, so he's I don't know, there's something about him that just feels, the first two are, I mean, they're big and they're chunky in a really good way. And this one just seems like he's got some sleekness to move around too, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like the other two, he is big and chunky, like you said, but he will move better than the actual suit that they used on the show. So that's fun. um, so the way that we broke down his articulation is pretty standard-ish. Like if you have like our Voltron Ultimate, or if you know how our Transformer Ultimate figures are broken down, it's going to be very similar to that. Single elbows, interchangeable hands, rotation at the elbows and wrists and stuff. There's a pretty interesting kind of like J kind of hook thing, so he'll be able to like put his arm up pretty good with this because of that.
Cool.
And instead of an ab crunch, so it doesn't go back and forth, I call it, I guess ab rocker wouldn't work either, but it goes side to side.
Okay.
Like from the like torso piece. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So you get a little bit more attitude and movement there. Whereas like that original suit is just one big block.
Yeah.
Like it's a dude in a cardboard box, basically, like, on a soundstage for the original one. So he'll have a little bit more movement there, but ball jointed head. So we'll look around a little bit, but like obviously that like collar thing that's like on his helmet kind of hinders it. But it'll move more, like I said, more than the original ones.
Right. Right. Tell me about this, because this is what I don't know.
You don't know that?
I don't know that.
Obviously you understand that all 5 of the Zords from the Rangers combine into the Megazord.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Megazord.
Yes.
Part of that transformation sequence is, the saber-toothed tiger and the Triceratops become the legs. The T-Rex becomes like the torso and like the head. The pterodactyl slams onto the chest, like that whole chest is the pterodactyl Zord. And then like the Mastodon Zord like splits apart and becomes the arms, and his head just like flies out somewhere, becomes nothing.
Gotcha.
But occasionally it'll be summoned back as the Mastodon shield. So he has big mega power sword thing, but then like he'll take the head of an elephant and use it to block the attacks of other monsters.
Block and hook you, right?
That's right. That's right. It's a versatile shield.
Okay, cool. Well, I've made it clear that I'm not an expert. I wasn't sure if this was an alternate head that I didn't know about, and you were like really deep cutting that, but a shield is even more wonderful and wacky.
It is a shield. It's crazy, Mike. But I've never thought of it as an alternate head, and I'm kind of bummed that it's not. Like, how rad would that look?
It would look cool, right?
It was this big elephant head on this like robot. Oh man, I smell a custom.
Well, hey, it would work. And let's see, we've got let's see, pink and yellow. So is that everybody now for the
that's not everybody. Blue and black are still not the minis form. Like there's red and there's green.
Yeah.
But we got way more Zords coming.
Yeah.
So
it's only this is only wave 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You and I were talking earlier before we started recording about how crazy far we have this plan. So you'll get them, everybody. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, the monsters and the Zords are really the things for me. So I'm excited to see this guy as well. So let's take a look at him too. And it's gonna be fun.
I'll start off with your favorite piece, just so you.
Wow. Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's chunky. It's got the nice handle on the back so you can hold on to it properly, right? And it's like it's got some weight to it. We're building anticipation here, because here's the sword. Again, continuing the Super 7 trend of accessories that are almost human size. Like this will be a nice letter opener as well as an action figure accessory.
And that's it. Only a letter opener.
That's it. Nothing else, please. And then, oh my God, he's heavy. His legs are loose. Again, his resin paint master. Not sure if I said that buzzword enough, but yeah, look at this guy. He's huge, and I think you can see my my arm shaking because he's like a pound of resin.
Well, I don't want to put it on you. Then can we see a comparison with him to one of the Rangers?
I'm gonna rotate him a little bit.
Okay.
See all the nice details. Back, on the side, right? Which do you want me to compare him to a Ranger? You think, real quick?
Yeah, maybe just because they're kind of like the.
Yeah, we'll go with Billy again because
Okay.
his painting looks nicest. But just like the other Zords and the monsters, he is the 8-inch size, so he'll be able to fight all of your monsters that you get within the line,
including Godzilla that's up for pre-order right now, right?
Possibly. That may have been my plan this entire time, but I can neither confirm nor deny these facts. I mean, allegations right now. But yeah, I mean, his sword's almost as big as he is. It's nuts. Oh, here we go. Here's your Megazord versus Godzilla. It's a very one-sided fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stompy.
But yeah. Oh man.
Well, talking about that though with Godzilla, I think that this one, he does have more of like, I don't know, more than the Zords at least that we've seen so far, has kind of a classic feel to him. Like, you know, he's kind of got a little bit of that 1960s Japan robot show going on, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's got like almost like a Mazinger feel to him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And it's cool, at least for me, just because like, you know, that Megazord is probably one of the first giant robots I ever really laid eyes on, you know.
Kind of a gateway into your giant robot kaiju love affair, right?
Yeah. I mean, right around this time is when I started reading my Godzilla comics and watching my Heisei era movies and getting my Trendmaster Godzilla, like Mecha Godzilla stuff, and yeah, it all kind of adds up to the weird pop culture soup that is Kyle, I guess. So.
Well, you know, you said that adds up. I mean, talking about series 3 as a whole, I mean, for someone who is for all intents and purposes, a lifelong Power Rangers fan, and now you're getting to work on the brand via action figure expression. I mean, getting this team together, that's gotta mean a lot, right?
It's gonna be a moment when they're all there lined up together. You're like, oh man, like that's it, you know. For sure. And it is cool, like, because I've done it digitally too. Like I've taken all of the renders and lined them all up, and it's like, oh man, that looks really good. So, and
then put the renders, like take a picture of your display shelf so that you can like put them in there. Oh, that's exactly how they're gonna look.
Print them to scale. Yeah. I felt like a next level collector when I like made an Excel spreadsheet of all the stuff that's gonna go in here. Like when I moved in here, like that felt like next level collector stuff, and I feel like printing out 2-scale paper printouts is like there's no coming back once you do that.
Well, you know, but that's a positive type of planning and tracking. I used to keep track of like open pre-orders and things like that, and I stopped doing that because I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. I just want to enjoy it.
Yeah, I typically try to avoid math at all costs.
Yeah.
Even when I play D&D now, I do it on this thing called Roll20, which like adds it all up for you. You just like click on your great sword button to like hit somebody and move on with your life. So,
nice.
Yeah.
More hitting, less arithmetic.
Yeah, but no more math, please. I went to my cousin describes my illustration degree as going to coloring school. So they didn't really teach us math over at coloring school all that much. So
you just take the Banky approach from what, Chasing Amy. He calls you a tracer, man. You start some shit.
yeah, luckily I don't trace stuff. Yeah,
well,
that always sticks with me.
Well, so we're 3 series in now, and like we said, that core ranger team, but also the enemies and how the Zord. I think now it becomes pretty apparent, you know, and there's always the curveballs that you guys talk about, but it's becoming much easier to bring into focus really the path and the scope that you guys are going on with this line as a whole, and it's exciting. You know, for me as a casual fan, I've got to be thinking that, you know, the people who are really super into Power Rangers, this picture that's coming together now is pretty impressive.
I sure hope so. I mean, at least just to have the core team is like, oh yeah, like awesome. But then like there's some characters in here that hadn't really gotten like the proper love and attention that they needed, and then you know, or Zords that, you know, never were made screen accurate to the suits and in, you know, a larger articulated scale, non-transforming. Sorry guys, but yeah, it's very exciting. And like I said earlier, with like, yeah, we're completing the core team, and some people are, you know, I get that question a lot. It's like, oh, are you worried that like now the core team's there, like no one's gonna buy it anymore? It's like, no, not at all. Like core team's done, like, and people got them, like gloves are off now. Like we can do the crazy stuff that nobody's ever made before, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
It's you know, I kind of liken it to the Ninja Turtle line. I mean, once you guys got those the 4 turtles out, man, things have gotten crazy as far as the assortments go over the last couple, and crazy in a great way. So with the monsters and everything else from Power Rangers and the other iterations and the craziness of it, I mean, it's easy to say, oh, we're just getting started, but I mean, you're just getting started.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I think there's some other characters that people, you know, have already predicted and can expect, and that's fine. But like, yeah, I've planned it out for, you know, wave 12 and like beyond and stuff at this point. So like, we're gonna go some places that people are not expecting and probably never even seen before. So I'm pretty excited to get there.
Well, that's exciting. Talking about the present with series 3 and what's to come. You know, I don't think that we've had a chance to have one of these sessions since you guys kind of implemented it and put it in place. But Super 7 now has a very handy Ultimate's pre-order status update page that keeps you know, people like you and probably Brian from having to always answer the same questions about where's this and where's that and whatnot. But
don't worry, I still
get about Power. Yeah, since we are talking about Power Rangers, obviously, you know, the status is on the page now, but I mean, from the work that you're doing on it and whatnot, anything of note as far as updates or whatnot you'd like to give on 1 or 2?
Like I said, in the pre-order status page, it says tooling is still going on. And that's just state of the world. Like everything is expensive, everything's delayed. Like most of China is locked down at this point because COVID has just really torn that place up again, which really sucks because we have a lot of great partners over there and we feel for them. So we'd rather people stay safe than make toys on time. But you know, obviously we had planned on wave one being, you know, around this time this year, but that's not going to happen. That's just not how it's going to work out with everything that's going on. We're still planning for this year to release. I should be seeing, you know, a second round I should be seeing test shots at any day at this point. It just kind of depends on when they can get in and get back to work and do all that. So we'd rather those people stay safe than make our action figures.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the update on that for sure. And hopefully things will keep moving along. And maybe, you know, as the progress gets to a certain milestone or whatnot, maybe we can come back together and, you know, talk about some of that stuff too, as it goes along.
Yeah, definitely. And stay tuned to that pre-order page, because we update it as much as we can.
Yeah, that was my question about the pre-order page. Was originally going to be, how often are you going to update it? But it's seen so many updates since it's gone through that that's very handy. But there's still a lot of that, you know, iceberg that you talked about to talk about too. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to do that in the not too distant future. But for now, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimates Series 3 is up for pre-order at super7.com for about another couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the last day is the 6th or something. I'm sure someone will correct us down here.
I have a handy dandy internet right here. It goes through Friday, May 6th. So a couple of weeks still. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Boom. Okay, well, Kyle, thank you very much, as always, for joining us. I won't call you Kyle Ranger before we close it out here again. That's for you though, so you can hear that in your own mind and roll your eyes later on.
Yeah, that's the next Super Sentai show is Kyle Ranger.
Make it happen. Make it
bunch of helmets that look like the helmets look like dudes like us. Weird, close cuts and high and tights.
Oh yeah. Ain't nobody gonna be watching that, my friend.
No, but nobody should.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, I always appreciate the time. You know, I know you're busy working on cool stuff. So it's fun to talk about it for me. So thanks for taking the time. We certainly appreciate it.
No, man, anytime. I love talking about this stuff. And you know, like I said, like with that iceberg thing, like I do all this work and it's like, oh, like I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. And like it's also a fun exercise to try and kind of go back in time too, because like these have been done for so long.
Yeah.
Why did I do this? Oh yeah, that's right, because this is cool.
Yeah.
I get to doing these, I get to kind of fall in love with the product all over again, you know.
And come you use your mental DeLorean to come back to where the rest of us are living.
Yeah. It's a fun mental exercise.
Sure. Nobody ever called talking to me a fun mental exercise, but we'll end on that positive note. So again, Kyle, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again soon. Thanks to everybody for coming to check this out. Appreciate it as always. But until next time, we'll catch you on the Fwoosh. So thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Later.